She looked me in the eye, eyes full of panic, and said, "If you do this, if you don't let Rick come, Emily won't come. And if Emily doesn't come, the whole group might fall apart." That was the moment I realized something deeper than a guest list was breaking inside our relationship. Not with the flowers, not with the venue, but with the one person I was supposed to build a life with. And all because of Rick. Let me rewind. I'm 26. My fiancée is 28. We've been together for a while, and we're getting married next year. We've been planning this day carefully, selecting a venue that felt like us, building a guest list that reflected our lives, our families, and our closest friends. That list was sacred. This day was supposed to be sacred. But as we were going through the invites, her name came up. Emily, one of her oldest friends, one of her bridesmaids, and immediately I felt the knot twist in my chest. Because where Emily goes, Rick follows. Now, to say Rick is a problem is like saying fire is a little warm. He's not just unpleasant, he's dangerous. He's not just annoying, he's predatory. And I don't use that word lightly. I remember the early days of our relationship. Emily would call my fiancé all the time in tears, venting about this guy. Back then, they weren't even dating. Rick would show up to bars she was at, uninvited, watch her, follow her, wait. And eventually, like some twisted, manipulative strategy, he wore her down, emotionally, psychologically, until one day, she gave in. They started dating. You know those moments in life where your stomach drops and you don't know why, but you know something bad just happened? That was the day Emily started calling him her boyfriend. And from that moment, things changed. Not just with Emily, but with the whole friend group, with me. Because I had said things, strong things, honest things. I'd called Rick out before they ever got together. I didn't hold back. Not when she told us about the stalking. Not when she cried into the phone. I was angry, protective, maybe too loud about it. And somehow, that made me the problem. I started noticing it. Fewer invites to group hangouts, side conversations, silence when I entered the room. I was never officially uninvited, but Emily made it clear. I wasn't welcome in her circle anymore. And I never got confirmation. But it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. I had one enemy, and his name was Rick. Now, let me paint the full picture. Rick isn't just creepy. He isn't just a jerk. He's a walking red flag factory. This is a man who publicly humiliates Emily for fun. He thrives on making people, especially women, feel small. He fights with everyone, even in Emily's own circle. He makes women uncomfortable. Multiple women. And this is the part that still makes my skin crawl. Rick had a secret folder, a hidden album on his phone, and in it, explicit photos, nudes, of Emily's own friends. He got them from a local Reddit thread he created, asking people to submit revenge porn. He collected those images like trophies, shared them, kept them, laughed about them. Some of those women, they filed restraining orders against him. Now, none of those women are invited to the wedding, but the fact that they exist, that they had to take legal action to protect themselves from this man, that's not drama. That's not jealousy. That's danger. I have 2 daughters. They'll be at the wedding. My family, all women, my friends, the people I care about. This isn't just some petty grudge. This is safety. This is dignity. So I said no. No. Rick will not be coming to our wedding. And that's when everything cracked. My fiancée. She panicked. She said it wasn't that simple. that if Emily couldn't bring Rick, she'd refuse to come. And if Emily didn't come, the whole friend group might crumble. People would take sides. There'd be gossip, drama, hurt feelings. She said it could ruin the wedding. But what about me? What about the fact that Emily has already been excluding me for years? That Rick's presence makes me feel sick? That I've stayed silent to keep the peace, while the peace never included me? That didn't seem to matter. For my fiancé, the priority was the dynamic, the group, the image. And Rick, somehow, even with all his violations, was safer to include than the truth. I sat with that for a long time, wondering when exactly I became less important than a group of people who would rather protect an abuser than speak out against him. When did we all agree that Rick was terrible, but not terrible enough to do anything about? Because here's what no one says out loud. Silence protects the predator, not the victim. The entire friend group hates Rick. They admit it in whispers, in side eyes, in private conversations. But no one tells Emily to her face. No one dares to say the obvious. This man is hurting you. He's hurting everyone. And we are letting it happen because no one wants to be the one who ruins brunch. But I'm done being quiet. If protecting my family, my dignity, and my daughters from a man like that makes me the bad guy, so be it. Still, the worst part wasn't Rick. It was realizing the person I love, the person I chose, the person I wanted to build a life with, was more afraid of Emily's reaction than she was of my discomfort. That she didn't fight for me the way I fought for her. That she didn't stand up for me the way I stood up for everyone else. That she was okay being part of a group that cut me out because he didn't like me. Let that sink in. So I drew a line. Rick is not invited. Not now. Not ever. And if that means Emily walks, then she walks. If the entire group bails, so be it. Because this is not just a wedding. It's the beginning of a life, and I won't build it on fear, on silence, on compromise that sacrifices the truth. Some people think weddings are about pleasing everyone, but they're not. They're about choosing each other, choosing the kind of family you want to build, choosing what you'll protect and what you'll no longer tolerate. So, am I the asshole for telling my fiancé that Emily can't bring her boyfriend? Because if that makes me the villain, I'm okay being the villain. I'll sleep better knowing Rick isn't there. And I'll stand alone at the altar if that's what it takes. But at least I'll be standing for something. This story hits a nerve because it's not just about a wedding. It's about who we become when we're afraid to disrupt the peace. Rick isn't the only villain here. Silence is. Complacency is. The illusion that keeping the group happy is the same thing as doing what's right. That is the real danger. What do you do when someone you love tolerates something you can't? How do you move forward when the person you want to marry stands on the sidelines, watching you be cut out? And how far are you willing to go to protect your boundaries? Even if it costs you the people you once called friends? You heard the story. Now we want to hear from you. Would you let Rick attend your wedding to avoid drama? Or would you draw the line, even if it meant standing alone? Let us know in the comments. And if you've ever had to make the hard choice, to speak up, to walk away, or to stand your ground, tell us how it changed you. This is AITA Stories, where we dive deep into the drama, not to judge, but to understand. Thanks for listening.